Hi, welcome. Our college had a solid cricket team. No, I was not a cricket player. But during their practice, when they take a break, I would ask whether I can bat for an over. They would always say yes. I take the bat and go to the crease. One of our best bowlers gets ready to bowl. He's a hefty, muscular man. He walks away as if he is going to the end of the world and then turns back and starts running towards me, getting ready to bowl. The image of a large person running fast towards me makes me scared. I think he's going to throw the ball at me and kill me. Let's stop here. What came first, the fear or the thought? Did the fear make me think so, or is the thought that the ball is going to break my head and kill me make me fearful? What came first, thought or emotion? This is a question that is frequently asked, and we will explore it further. Welcome to Mindscape Matters, and I am Dr. Mohan Raj, your host. Let's now go back and see what happened to the ball. The fear of the huge bowler running ferociously towards me evoked a response of defensiveness. I tried to defend my legs and my body and tried to stay out of the ball's path and get clean bowled. This brings us to a third aspect, our behavior. Thought and emotion often lead to a behavior which is in keeping with the content of the thought or emotion or both. It's commonly believed that thoughts lead to emotions. For example, if a person thinks about negative outcome of an exam or an interview, he becomes anxious. Or if a person thinks that nothing will go well for him in life, he is bound to feel sad. Or if the thought is one of achievement, he will feel joyful. Sometimes a thought leads to more thoughts, and these in turn lead to a chain of thoughts. For example, if a student has a thought, what if there are questions from the chapters that I have not studied? I'll be getting very poor marks. What will the teacher tell in front of the class? What will my friends think of me? How will I face my parents? They will scold me by saying so many things, and so on. Each of this thought would cause increasing levels of anxiety. The heightened anxiety brings in more anxiety-provoking thoughts, and the student goes into a vicious cycle of thought and emotion. The same can happen with sadness, anger, happiness, and other emotions. Cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT, is based on the premise that thoughts lead to emotions. CBT aims to identify the thought that triggers an emotion and train the person in alternate ways of thinking. By correcting and reappraising the thoughts, the resultant emotions will settle down. Then there are occasions when we feel a particular emotion for no apparent reason. There are no thoughts, only emotion. It can happen with any emotion. If we feel anxious and are not able to put a finger on what we are anxious about, we call it as free-floating anxiety. Sadness can also happen for no reason. In such situations, the emotions can lead to thoughts. It is as if we are wearing a pair of spectacles tinted with the emotion and looking at the world through them and interpreting the events accordingly. If I look at the world through a blue tinted lens, the world looks blue. Same with other colors. Similarly, if I look at the world through a glass tinted with anxiety, the world will look like an unsafe place. This interpretation makes me more anxious, and the shade of the lens becomes darker and darker. The action that I take also depends on this initial emotion and the subsequent thoughts. If the lens is tinted with sadness, the negative things in the world come to our attention. We miss the good things that are also taking place. We consider the world as a cruel, unfair place. We pride our species as a thinking species. I think, therefore I am, said Descartes in a different context. Thinking is considered as an important human virtue. We consider our thinking brain as an advanced center than our primitive emotional brain. Did anybody say, I feel, therefore I am? Turns out there was somebody who said something similar. Spinoza in the 17th century said that emotions were more important than thought for our survival. But he was ignored for a long time. If you ask a neurophysiologist what came first, emotions or thought, they don't hesitate before saying emotions. One evidence is, if you look at evolution, the emotional brain was the first to develop. And as more species evolved, the thinking brain developed. In a given individual, research shows that any sensory input first goes to the emotional brain on its way to the thinking brain. By the time the sensory input reaches the thinking brain, the sensory input has already got an emotional tag attached to it. For a long time, emotion was considered as an enemy of reason. You emotional fool, people used to say when somebody is emotional. Now we learn that emotion is not an enemy to reason. It can be an ally. Once a person has thoughts and emotions in a vicious cycle which aggravate each other, we can intervene at both levels. CBT intervenes at the level of thought. There are many therapies that intervene to change emotions. We'll discuss those in future episodes. Thank you for watching this far. If you like the video, please tell 4 of your friends. Tell them there is a Tamil version also. Stay tuned because Mindscape matters. Bye.